And welcome to the Natural Ones, everybody. This week we are here to
play D&D.
We're here to play D&D.
Like we're here to play D&D.
We're not. I don't know if we do anything else, but that's for sure. I'm very excited for this part of our story, mainly just because it was quite the event just to get here. But if we, I think our chief first announcement is just to say we will have wait, would this actually? Oh no! By this time it'll be over. I was going to say something about the Shard Kickstarter, but by this time it'll be over.
Yeah, we're recording these like a month and a half ahead of time.
Yeah.
The unfortunate thing is, all the episodes that we recorded that would have been going up during the Shard Kickstarter were recorded before we knew about the Shard Kickstarter.
Yeah. Okay.
Regardless,
thank you for...
If you're looking for a virtual tabletop client that has very good and effective encounter management is the main thing. I think that's what Shard has in spades. It combines Roll20's map system with the ease of use of D&D Beyond's encounter tracker. It's great. It's very easy to...
honestly, that's the other thing about VTTs in general is that it's I don't know what else outside of a skill check that you need to see squares for and combat. I don't need a lot more bells and whistles on it. But the nice part of it is that you can also give handouts in the encounter tracker as well. You can do a bunch of stuff with it that is very handy. Yeah. So check it out.
I legitimately thought Miles found a way to put filters on this video recall, and I was really jealous. I was like, cat coffee.
It's my new rainbow filter.
The octopus hat. Oh wow, we do see rainbows through it. That's nice.
That's actually pretty cool.
We do. The octopus on his hat is actually a chat filter.
Yeah. But the glasses.
Well, I genuinely didn't see him put them on, so I looked up, and all of a sudden he had glasses on, and they're cool enough to look not real.
Nice.
That's what everyone says about them.
Also, for those of you...
That got her.
Well, I don't even remember exactly what Miles said last week, but I couldn't stop laughing.
That's...
Same.
And it was a very serious moment.
It was the fact that Tyler said the Gornall Thornall mining company and you lost your shit.
Yeah. That's
Gornall Thornall.
Also, just want to bring up, fans of the show are aware that we're big fans of Underground Oracle and use a lot of their supplements. Shard has a lot of Underground Oracle stuff integrated into the system, which is another... They work with a couple homebrew companies and publishing companies that are constantly making... Kobold Press, Sly Flourish is involved, to make custom content and homebrewed stuff that you can work into your game. So you can have stuff that just easily integrates into the sheet without you having to go and set up a bunch of extra stuff. It's great. It's fantastic.
Appreciate that. Other than that, we're going to go ahead and begin our session today. So, the four of you and Kalenth and Gornall have just recently bested the Tower of Blight. After a very... I like the...
Got the best of it.
You've been through pretty much all of the rooms.
Yeah, we did.
Arguably got the worst of it too. So,
I think we definitely pulled some of the worst rooms that we could have run into, but we're alive. We're alive.
Their journey through it was harsh and unforgiving, but through it all, they were able to come together, to push through, and to, at some point, have to finally concede that they were going to have to work with Kalenth to actually escape. There was also an event with the Deck of Many Things that have sort of upended a few of the decisions being made, as well as kind of putting a couple of extra wrenches into the mix. But as they get to Kalenth and they are able to retake their box, this boon granted to them by the Raven Queen, they instantly teleport our heroes and their quarry. Does that still work in a rescue sense?
Quarry definitely seems like something you hunt down. I don't think quarry is.
I don't think quarry is the right word.
Their charges. Their,
charge.
Their
Their
wards.
their charges. Gornal Thornal, and have placed themselves nearly about a mile to the southeast of the capital city of Sisted, and currently 7 of you are headed towards the outskirts of the city. Tired, broken, but alive. And there's a semi-silence to the beginning of the walk. It's odd. The person next to you has been part of your journey for so long, and now but they were always guarded. They were always somewhere else. They were always contained, and now they walk next to you. Open to you. If there's anything you'd like to discuss along the way, or if you were hoping to wait till you got to the mansion, your choice.
To the mansion? I thought we were going back to the mining company.
Orgul, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I meant, like, are you waiting until you bring Gornal back and then get all the way back to the house before you guys actually say anything? Or are you having any sort of conversation as you're walking towards the gates of Sisted?
I was planning to just take Gornal back.
Okay. Is he doing that solo, or are the 3 of you going to join him?
I'll go with.
Cool. Also, Panther was there.
Yeah, I said 5, I just corrected, but, for the podcast listeners, I did have a 5 up. I didn't forget about it.
I didn't. So you all... you move towards the south end of the south gate of the city of Sisted. That being sort of the closest proximity to the Thorgol Mining Company headquarters. As you get to the gates, you see Kalenth hesitate as you're probably about 30, 40 feet from the actual walls. Again, this is around noon. This is midday sometime. Which seems not entirely in line with how much time you guys spent in the Tower of Blight. It's odd. It's kind of it's almost as if you lost time.
Oh no. I hope this isn't a hell situation.
But Kalenth takes a moment and just seems to be kind of looking at the outskirts as you all kind of start to move forward inside.
Or, are you concerned about making a public appearance at the moment?
No, not public.
Private. You know what so sad?
No! You should always talk. All 3 of you. All 4 of you. Always talk.
It's just very good.
It's just very...
No, all 3. All 3 of you.
In a sense... It's taking a lot of energy that I don't entirely have to mask my presence here.
Well... if you have things you'd rather be doing, it's perfectly fine.
I need time to recuperate.
That's fair.
And I suppose I would ask you all. Well, let's take Gunnar home first. We'll discuss this in a moment.
Yeah.
And steps through the gates of the city. The guards are more just to push through basic questions. They kind of recognize you guys But it doesn't take. It's not hard to get Kalenth in. In fact, they sort of just once over and just kind of keep looking out. Getting to the Thorgal, the mining company headquarters, you see Gornal kind of get up the step, kind of gingerly hold onto the door handle, and he just says, he looks to a lot of you and he says, I'm not sure I deserved the effort you all put in.
Everyone deserves it. The only thing I ask is that if you have the chance, you do the same.
It would be an honor to make sure the kindness you have shown is spread to others. You notice that he's also... He like, starts with the four of you, and by the end of his sentence, he's looking at Kalenth.
Oh, also, yeah, I'm sure she's busy at the moment, but let the Rethka know that whenever it's convenient for her, we're more than willing to take her up on those drinks.
It may be a moment, but I imagine she... Well, we'll see. Thank you. He opens the door. Closes it behind him.
Kalenth, there's just one question I want to ask. I didn't want to say it while he was here.
Yes, this is my real hair.
Thank you. Moving on. The tower and its wards. Do you know whether or not there was any sort of time manipulation going on?
In a way, more of a distortion, really. It's not... What's the worry?
If we happen to lose more time than we anticipated, I would just like to be aware.
No. More so, probably lost a day.
Okay, I can live with that.
It simply fluctuates. It, dependent on a few factors, rooms, as well as resting, that sort of nature.
That's fair. As long as we didn't lose 4 months again, I think we'll be alright.
Yes, that was a treat.
Alright.
Philip, we should definitely rest up first, but once we've had a moment of rest, I'd like to take you to see Nerith. I'd like to show him the damage, see what we can do about it.
That's fair. I wouldn't look at it as damage so much as an opportunity. But
we'll get you back better than new.
I appreciate it. Outside of that, I think I'm gonna have to pay a visit to Hellpike and try to get something new made. He'll have time to make it. I won't be able to use it until whatever you end up doing. So anyway, Kalenth, did you want to talk here, or do you want to go somewhere else?
I think it's better if we... Well, I suppose on the street is as fine a place as any to ask a question. I don't have to stay here, but as I'm interested in acquiring your services, I was wondering if I might be let into your house.
Not to be that person, but we do have a few people in the house who have nothing to do with this, who I personally would kind of not want to bring you in without asking them, if that's okay first. Also, as technically 7 of them are children, and they are my children, I guess I kind of get to make that decision for their well-being.
You do. It is a simple question. It has a yes or a no.
It being a simple question is a bit reductive of our situation here. You bringing us out of the tower assuages one of my fears. If you wanted us dead, you could have either killed us or left us in the tower and we would have died there. So that's one thing. Which means either you're very trustworthy, and I hope that is true, or you do have other plans and you just think we would be useful for them. So it could be either.
It could be both.
It could be both, yeah. If something... On the one hand, I'm sure Yvonne would be maybe not thrilled, but could likely learn a lot, specifically about the house, if you were there and willing to work with her. But the house is one of the only protections we have against you if you turn out not to be trustworthy. So we would be giving that all, is the other side of that.
As I said, I have something of you that I would ask. But you do not have to take it.
We're all aware of the nature of the house, of how it's powered, at the very least. And, I think, knowing that and knowing what we have to do, that house at some point is going to have to cease to exist. It's my feeling on it is that it should be the last one to go, because it will likely serve as a useful tool for replacing the rest of the stones that we need to replace. But at the end of the day, if we're going to restore the balance, we're going to need to take the stone out of the house. Or...
Where does that one need to go?
To another continent. So that's going to be a...
I have always wanted to see if I can make the house fly.
We may have to. Or swim. One of the things when I talked to Necromancy, I got the locations of the stones, or at least vague ideas of the rest of the stones, which ones need to move, where some of them need to go. And the one inside our house, transmutation, needs to go to a continent to the south. Right? Is that the one to the south or the one to the west?
That's one to the south.
That's one to the south? Okay. So, I think, both because it's a useful tool to us while we do the rest of this, and we currently don't know how to move it to a different continent. I figure it's in our best interest to do that one last. It's also why I don't think Kalenth is necessarily going to run off with or sabotage the house. It would work against their purposes. For the moment...
Your purposes.
For the moment, Well, I guess I suppose I can't speak to everyone else's feelings on the matter, but to me, it's pretty important that we preserve the balance and stop the plane from falling into chaos.
I think when he was saying your purposes, he was indicating that Colette is in the
Colinth
conversation.
is standing right there. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. No. I'm not. Yeah. I'm not speaking as though Colinth isn't there. Yeah. You know, I'm saying all this with them there.
Listen, I will say again, it would be easier with all of you.
That said, I do agree that we'll need to run it by the other people who are involved first. Just out of common courtesy, I feel we shouldn't make a decision without their input.
I see. Looks over to you, Nameless. Well. Then how about I settle it? Enjoy your home. When it comes to that point, we'll discuss it again. I'll be off. And if I have any other information to give you, freely yours. Simply request my services if you should require them.
Where are you going?
Nowhere you won't be able to call me.
We do have a magic mirror, but maybe do you want someone to walk you there?
I would enjoy company, as I have not had it outside of Gornal for a very long time.
I could go, I don't care.
See Panther kind of... I'll come with you then. Oh, wonderful. I would greatly appreciate the company.
I would come as well if I wasn't.
Now,
To
you
be
should
fair,
take care of yourself.
Yeah, I feel I may fall over at any moment, so.
Lay yourself down. That was a mighty blow.
Yes. I'll be in touch soon.
Take your time. I am also tired. It will take me a little bit of time to recover my full potential. So, I wish you luck in whatever you choose to do. Please understand that I mean that with full confidence, that without you, I would never have left that tower. Finding some brave and in some ways arrogant enough people to believe that they can survive an event like that. Very difficult. You're very special, and you should own it. Take it from a long life of hardship. Friends last until ideals get in the way. Make sure that you work on yourself. Take care. Please, if you will. And he sort of indicates to you names.
I don't know where we're going. Maybe you should lead.
No, I'm sorry. I was saying, like, he's walking forward, but, like, he's saying, like, he's indicating to you to follow. Not like, please, show me somewhere. However hysterical that would be awesome.
I follow.
Okay.
And I look to see if anyone's coming else with.
Again, Panther said that he will, and he starts to move with you. Up to you if you'll let him.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So at least Panther's following. Before we move to that, the three of you back home.
Yeah, back home first.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
You're all pretty tired. Like this is
Yeah.
last legs kind of energy.
All of these conversations I can have after rest.
If you don't want to hear this, go ahead and the usual.
Oh no, the octopi.
Oh no, the little buddy. Oh boy. Oh.
He's angry now.
Yeah. Upset. I get it.
50,000 on his head.
You're walking towards the north, so dockside. You're probably the first 5 minutes of your walk is semi-speechless. It's not. It's kind of watching them take in the sights of the city, watching them kind of move through and take it all in. You notice as you're passing the Spire of Justice at the center of the city, there's a lingering moment, longer than the other ones, that they sort of stand there and look at it.
That's where it is.
Yes.
I can't take you to see it or anything. That'd be more Philip.
No, I don't want that. It's taking everything I have just to keep it from finding me right now.
Yeah. I don't think it's gonna be very happy when we realize what we did.
No, I don't believe it will either. But at the same time, we were friends for a while. I think it will see what is really happening and it will reassess its evaluation.
Maybe.
This is not what you asked. This is not what you want to talk about, so why don't we move to that?
I was being
You're
good
being
host.
polite. It's
Yeah.
well received. Good job. But I would not like to waste your time.
Well, perhaps. I don't... You said it was you who I spoke to.
Oh, it was.
And while I really enjoy the people that I travel with, they did just kind of send me off with a stranger. So obviously, if they really think you're a threat, they didn't want to come with me. Not that it was a test. I mean, maybe it was. But then I wouldn't be able to have this conversation.
Yes. You strike me as someone who tests.
Yeah. I do.
I understand. I was much the same way.
Well,
When you grow up alone, only knowing coldness, it creates a safety.
yeah.
A neutral that is much more vicious than others. I don't begrudge you. But I don't think your friends would have let you over here if they did not think you capable. That's not the feeling I get.
Well, I mean, they think you can destroy a whole city, so I'm pretty sure that, it's not. I don't not care about them, but I don't care.
That sounds
I
like it's
think
going well for you.
I just want to do one thing right now and have a sense of closure. And then I have to deal with this other thing. Gesture to Panther. So, I have a lot of on my plate right now.
Yes.
But you said you'd be able to help me find her,
Indeed.
Arwen.
Yes.
Do you have to, like, reach your full potential or touch a lodestone or something? Or can you do that now?
I will need a little bit of rest.
Okay.
But once that's done, a deal is a deal. I'll be honest, I was worried when you were in my room and you sided with people to leave me there.
I think I got scared.
Suppose I am scary.
Well, not so much like this, but when you're all sickly, yeah. I thought maybe you were a liar. And that you couldn't actually help me.
I will not say I never lied or choose not to lie. But I would never lie about my ability. I have too much pride for that. I will help you find your person. And you will get your justice.
Thank you. But don't tell them about it.
Oh no, the steel is yours and mine alone.
While we're on talking about deals, anything you have to help get rid of this curse would be really helpful.
Unfortunately, I do not have the means. I do feel for you. But the scope of what you have upon you is a brand. The universe upset. And you're meddling. And I say meddling with a very neutral tone. That room is a trap for a reason. It's made to punish. I believe you have things to worry about, but that will take some time to remove from you. And quite a bit of luck. But from what I understand in your group, you have the ear of a couple of notable entities.
Yeah. I just don't know if they're all gonna be too jazzed about what we just did.
Definitely not one.
Alright, well, I'm not one really for, chatter. Where are you going?
I think I'm going to get on that ship.
What is the ship's name?
It is called the Ember Dawn. It is an airship.
Oh. And where is it going?
Home. To Taro. Or at least, I will make my way to Taro by way of this.
Well, I know we'll talk again.
You will always have a free line.
Do we just have to, like, call your name when you hear us, like, before? Or, like, do I have to use the mirror?
Up to you.
Cool. Did you have any questions, Panther? Because I'm done.
No.
Cool.
Well, that is what I like to call a very succinct conversation.
Sure.
You're all very curious to me.
Well, I mean, you were kind of fascinated by, like, the moving vehicles and stuff, too, so I don't really,
Oh, no, not the... It's nice to see a friend's dream come to fruition.
I am nosy. What do you mean?
Have you ever heard of General Grania?
Probably.
No, it's never been discussed.
No, I haven't. It's like, oh.
Like, well, I don't have my notes, so...
Yeah, it's like, oh.
Nothing could exist in this world, and it would...
It didn't happen today. It doesn't really exist.
Sorry. Well, the country shares his namesake for a very choice reason. This land used to be Bovasian. You know that, at least, yes?
Yeah,
Right.
I do, actually.
Yes. Well, it's not just a war with the Illithid that created Sestet. That battle created a understanding with the people that their queen cared about as little about them as it did, as she did animals in some fashion. General Grania stood up to that, created a place free of her rule, her monarchy, with myself, Terrigan, a few others. He created Sestet. I came here to research the necromantic Mirstone. Spent years before that in Core Hall. And no greater person has ever existed besides that person. And what you see before you is his wish, his desire.
Why is he dead?
Time.
Why aren't you dead?
Why aren't you?
Well, I'm young. You're pretty old.
Yes, I am. And you will be one day too. You know us of the Sylvan line exist for many, many years.
Yeah.
The Queen herself, more than 500 years old.
I guess I hadn't thought about it. Like, I mean, I knew that. But the idea of seeing your friends die.
It comes quicker than you think. But the dreaming of them is quite wonderful.
Well,
You are young, aren't you?
I'm sorry?
You're curious.
You said that.
Yes. Your age belies so much for what you are.
What do you mean?
You're still pup.
I like to think I'm mature for my age.
That's what I'm hinting. It's something else. But I must leave. Ship's taking off soon. I will get you your location.
And we'll get you your stones.
Worry about that as you will. I will do it myself if I have to.
Oh, I have one more question, really quick, Willie, before you leave. What's the Dragonland on the door? Do you know? You seem to know a lot about the house.
Well, it's nice to go home. It stands to reason. The man who made that house would want to go home. You'll also
I
have to
don't
wonder,
know much about him.
Yeah. Outside of the general and Terrigan, he was a very close friend, very dear friend. I can't say I know much. That land is barricaded for a reason. Best I can tell you is it is a place that will take tact and careful sort of maneuvering.
Oh.
It's not entirely impossible. It's not dangerous in the bigger sense. Not immediately. But dangers exist. Use your head.
I have a friend there. Maybe they'll help.
Maybe. He just begins to
Okay.
float. You can still talk to him.
Oh.
He's like floating
No,
to
I
the
was about
ship.
to be like, okay, well, bye. And then,
Like that.
that's cool.
You
I
head
walk
back.
back to the house.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm gonna take a second. We're gonna get everybody back.
Signed a deal with the devil.
Nope, that's Set Lolly and Panther, technically.
That's fair.
We didn't sign deals.
But I don't know that, technically.
We still
Also,
have-
and like point of fact, it wasn't like signing a deal. Like they got something out of it. It's
Oh, the guy, little devil.
Immediate animosity.
I hope that their devils show up at the same time, and they're like,
Like,
"No, I gotta kill him." No, it's me.
No, I was listed for Tuesday.
Oh god, and like they just start fighting each other.
My horns are bigger. All right,
That'd be a fun encounter to run.
I would think it'd be more fun to have like a devil and a demon fighting, and then
If only the card would let you set a demon instead of a devil. So one of them could have gotten a devil, one could have gotten a demon.
right, that'd be cool.
And they get there and like, ooh, which one?
It's like I gotta decide. All right, it's about half an hour, 40 minutes after you guys arrive at the mansion that Nameless gets back. Panther. I'd like to open it back up to you guys if you guys wanted to talk, or if you guys just wanted to go straight to sleep. That's also okay. It's currently midnight in the mansion.
So Yvonne's awake.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, that was the first thing.
she doesn't sleep much.
I was gonna want to fill her in on everything that happened.
Able to do so, I would say within that time frame. If there's nothing more distinctly that you want to say besides like the general events.
I do have a thing I wanted to ask her. General events. Also, I don't know if she's gonna respond to the arm thing at all or not. Well,
there's definitely
she's like not gonna say anything about it unless like I bring it up or something. Or
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. It's a very just sort of like.
No.
You see her like, kind of quietly grab a sketch pad. And then just start writing.
So we know about what happened before when you tried to go into the ocean. Were you looking for a mirror stone?
Yeah. Yes.
We may end up having to reach that mirror stone as well. Did you manage to make it?
No.
Okay. I assume by this point I've told her about what we know about the mirror stones need to be moved and everything.
Yeah. I mean, again, like if you discuss the general events of what's going, like of what you found out, and you're not like distinctly hiding anything, then
I don't know when or how. But that one needs to be returned to its original resting place at some point. Obviously, I'm not asking you to go through it again, but just if anything comes up, if you have any thoughts.
problem is that it took years of research just to triangulate a potential position. And then it was the advent of having the ancient technology to get down there. And unfortunately, I lost that technology.
Do you think this house could be converted into something that could do this? Or
It's possible. I mean, what you said was true about, I mean, that Mirrorstone must be heavily contained and controlled. Some of the stuff that I've learned about Mirrorstones over the years is, I mean, I'm no expert. I'm not well versed in it necessarily, but when you have a lodestone, it's much more susceptible, and it's much easier to control. And the Mirrorstones have, it's like imprinting. When you've pushed your will into something, and it retains that.
You give it a purpose, and then that becomes its purpose.
Right. But
how did it wind up at the bottom of the ocean?
That I wasn't able to find out.
Maybe that's the angle we should approach it from, then.
I mean, because at the time, I wasn't really... I know what I wanted to discover, and that was a time in my life where I was willing to do anything to get what I wanted. Part of me thinks it's probably just better down there.
I wouldn't have a problem with it if it wasn't risking the planes coming apart. Maybe if we get the rest of the stones back in place, it'll do enough, but...
Suppose.
Either way.
That's okay, I'll just stay awake thinking about that now.
I suppose the last thing is, you know of Colenth, and...
Vaguely. There's no more than vague tellings of a powerful practitioner.
Suppose they were alive and free and potentially wanted to travel with us. Do you have any particular feelings one way or the other?
I suppose more of my thoughts on it are that I don't have any specific ones.
All right.
I mean, you guys also let Ark in here, and to be truthful, you know, we don't know if he's a secret killing robot.
That's
or
true.
Not.
He could just be here to
massacre everyone.
Yeah.
No,
saw a
that's not
movie
true.
about
He
that
just
once.
makes really good food. He's just
Yes.
very good at his job.
Yeah. Right. Well, all right.
I appreciate you asking me. I don't mean to say that I don't want an opinion. I guess my opinion is I trust you all. And I guess my distinct worry in all of this is losing this place.
Yeah.
I don't want to. And I think we should be able to talk about that. But okay.
Yeah. Understood.
Because what if we made it its purpose? Right? We imbue it with a will, a new purpose.
That could be it. And as far as putting things back the way they're supposed to be, it doesn't mean the stone has to be destroyed. It doesn't mean the structure has to be destroyed even. It just means it would need to be in a different place. We could still preserve all of the things that it gives us. Who knows? It's possible we get this back to where it's supposed to be, and it could serve as the center of a fantastic collection of artificers and a way of building knowledge. A whole city could be built around it, if we desired. But whatever ends up happening is a long way off.
Well, I'm fine then. For now.
Okay.
I can try to dig up my old research and run some new calculations. It'll take a little bit of time, but I could see.
I appreciate it. I'll be looking into things as well. Alright, then I leave her.
Well, with that, you all head to sleep, and Liam, as you're sleeping, you have a moment as you're drifting in those final stages of like being awake to actually properly falling asleep. In that last vestige of being awake, you kind of like groggily open your eyes and blink, and all of a sudden you're in the shop. You've got a hammer in your hand, one of your war hammers, and you're working the forge. And in the tongs currently is a heated sort of like a facet, but more than like a ring, like larger than that. Something like you would place a very large object into, right? Like something like a like a foot long in diameter, sort of like facet, but more something that would like sit in it, and then you would set it on a table or something like that. Like, if that makes sense, it has legs that build into the facet. And so as you come into awareness, your body's a little sore, and you look at the time, and it's like it's nearly morning as you're sort of setting the facet into the water. Like, this is odd as well, because you're looking at the craftsmanship, and it's within your ability. You are more than capable of making this thing the way you have. But the speed with which it has been done seems odd, and it doesn't feel natural. As you sort of cool the metal, and you set this like silver facet onto the table, almost mechanically just finishing the job. And there's one thought in your head. You feel accomplished, weirdly. Not finished by anything, but like, this is a good first step. And you kind of drift back until finally you wake up in your bed. As all of you kind of come down for breakfast.
Long rest.
Does that affect my long rest at all?
No, it does not.
All right.
Morning comes your way. A delicious sort of, I don't know. Is farmer's breakfast a thing? I almost said it, and I was like, I don't know if that's an actual way to describe a meal. But
Sounds like a thing,
right? Like it does sound, but eggs,
a farmer's
toast.
breakfast?
Yeah, farmer's breakfast.
Yeah, that's part of. If you remember what we would do at Mom's house,
Yes.
that was
Just be
largely
a desert breakfast. Come on. At this point, everything.
Doesn't mean
Has
that
the
it
word
doesn't.
desert
Doesn't
in
mean
it.
it can't be a farmer as well.
all those.
So much
for the
sand.
sand
What do we
farmers.
farm there? Yeah.
Listen,
The
don't knock
hydrogen
ants,
farmers.
man. Ants.
For all
are
those
great.
hourglasses.
Yeah.
We're hourglass farmers.
Right. But it's a healthy spread. Ark kind of comes over, plates you all, and there's a moment where he's like slightly lingering and just waiting.
Oh,
Thank
this
you.
is delicious. This is
Oh.
fantastic.
Well, that's wonderful. I appreciate that you like my cooking. I was wondering if you might have time to discuss our arrangement.
Yeah. Yeah, let's work out a payment plan. We've got funds, so we can keep getting the payments done.
Wonderful. That would be excellent. I will leave you to your breakfast, but just know, I'm always watching. He walks back to the kitchen.
All right.
Do we know how much we owe for his
Yeah.
building?
Yeah.
How much is
You
it?
said a very long time ago.
I will repeat it to you now. 25,000 gold to pay him back.
Not as bad.
I have it, but I want to see how much it's going to cost to make your arm.
Okay. Oh yeah, you gotta. Right. I guess we do have a mine with incredibly precious stones and stuff at our disposal. If we need to make money quickly.
Don't necessarily recommend just hopping in there.
I'll probably be fine. What could possibly go wrong?
The morning is
I don't
open
know
to you
yet.
all. The morning is open to you all. What would you guys like to do?
I would like to go to the Expanse. Because I would like to try to talk to Dolora.
Sure.
So I'm going to grab a piece of toast or whatever and be like, bye, friends. And it was lovely seeing you this morning. And go there.
Sure. Turning the doorknob to the Expanse and heading forward. The appropriate distance to get towards sort of the starlight and the cosmic gases. You sit down, concentrate. It's going to be a wisdom check to try to connect to the Expanse to then push forward your request.
21.
21. Doesn't take much to get into the center, but as you do, you start to see the shapes from before. It's more of a reading of presence of various places, various different kind of temperatures to them, different color readings as well. And as you reach out to Dolora, what are you
saying? I would like to discuss the Raven Queen with you, please.
high or low?
Hi.
Just a gentle hand placed on your shoulder, and you feel it kind of presence around you and come to face you face to face. Again, it's that same feeling of I have to remain centered and basically like not open my eyes to be able to have this connection. And so the kind of golden auburn form drops to you and says, "You would like to discuss?"
Yes. So Kalenth is out of the tower, but they had mentioned that the Raven Queen put them in there and may or may not have shifted many of the mirror stones throughout the world to mess up the many planes of existence, and I was wondering if that was something she would do.
It's something anyone can do, isn't it?
I mean, I don't think anyone can do it, but I guess a goddess would be able to do it.
Don't think in that way. No, I mean, it's within... Is it not within all of us to want freedom of choice, to want the power to choose? In that way, couldn't anyone do what you think that she's doing?
I guess by that standard, yes, anyone could do it, but I don't really trust Kalenth, but I trust my family, and I guess I just want to know if going against a goddess is the right choice.
And that amount of certainty would make you feel better? Would that make the actions of going against a goddess easier?
No, but I think hearing an answer from one might help me a bit. I don't really trust myself.
My
I
answer
seem to be
you...
making a lot of bad decisions lately.
My answer to you is to have conviction. If you do not trust this person, don't trust that person. That should never be a bad thing. However, distrust does not have to mean that they're wrong. What you ask of me, I cannot answer your problems. It is why I gave you choice. It is why the three sisters ascended in the way they did. It is all for you. You have the power to choose your world. You have every right to shape it the way you would like. But so does everyone else. That equality is what makes the choice have any meaning, any power. So stand in conviction, as I have stood. My choices were not always sought as beneficial by others of my kind, of my status. The world belongs to you. It doesn't even belong to the Raven Queen. Nor ROI. Nor Mistra. No god or goddess, good or evil, should have claim to that which is yours. Take this and know so much of life is wasted in inaction. Wrong choices do not mean failure. It simply is a step. If you feel as though your step has been misplaced, then find it again. Find it in me. Find it in your friends. The presence fades.
I guess I just leave because I have no reason to be in there anymore. And then I will check to see if everyone's back, like still at the table, and then I'll.
At this moment, yeah, I would say this conversation didn't last that long, so everybody was still at the table. So give me a
So
second.
then I'll just sit back down.
Okay. Setlali returns to the table. However, I don't know what kind of expression is on the face as she returns, but
I think I'm noticeably struggling to eat, like, cleanly. Yeah.
you were already a sloppy eater, and now you have to eat with your non-dominant
Yeah, anything
hand.
that, yeah, like, the only hand that I have left is the one that I'm not used to doing things with.
Besides this.
Yeah. Besides just raising it up, more or less. Yeah.
I'm assuming the kids are at the table as well.
Yeah. Rowdy.
So I'm gonna look.
Rowdy and,
Of course.
a little unkempt, but for the most part, decently mannered.
Okay, so I'm gonna look at them,
Mhm.
and kiddos, I have a matter to discuss with you, and even though I, as your guardian, gets to ultimately make the final decision, I do want your opinions on it, because you matter to me. So, there's a friend of some of the people at this table who would like to stay in the house for a bit, and I didn't want to say yes for you without asking if you guys would be okay with sharing our space with one more person.
They all, in various different personalities, give you a sort of like, sounds fun.
Sure, that's the word to use for it. Yeah. Okay, go back to eating, but maybe just a little less rowdy, please. There are other people at this table.
Lasts about a minute.
Great. Right. I guess if they're fine with it, is Yvonne fine with it?
She doesn't have any problems with it, it seems. She says she trusts whatever we decide. I guess the only other person to ask is Ark, but, Ark might not be here much longer, depending on...
Do they have my money?
Honestly, probably. They probably do have a bank account that's been accruing interest for nigh on a century at this point. It's the Futurama situation.
Yeah.
You had like an account with like $3 in it, now it's worth billions.
I know it's. I can just think of like the medieval version of Futurama being present drama, and it doesn't work.
Past drama.
They're the past's future is the present.
The future
So-
is in the past.
So that's just The Simpsons.
Yeah.
In medieval times, Futurama is just The Simpsons.
All right. The peasants.
Nameless, you didn't really give an answer yesterday. What are your thoughts on this?
I thought that my shrug spoke a million words. I'm fine with it.
She does have powerful shrugs.
So I guess we let them in?
I mean, we don't have to right now. They're on an airship.
Oh.
I
So-
want to be on an airship.
Do you want to do a wife swap? But you're the wife.
But you two are the wives.
Yeah,
but,
but the
I want to
wife-
do a caster swap.
spell swap.
I'll if you don't have anything going on, Philip, I was gonna call Nerith, see if now would be a good time to stop on by.
I've got a couple things to do, but none of them need to be done in any particular order. So,
Right.
I figure whatever we're gonna do about this is could probably use some lead time, so we may as well.
Just remember that community bit.
Here's the
This is
other
fine,
arrow.
Yeah, so we may as well get the ball rolling on that as soon as possible. Yeah, I'm down for that.
What are we doing exactly?
Well, my primary concern is figuring out how we're going to move these stones back. Or at least how I'm going to move the stones back. I'm not sure how everybody else feels about it. But I would like to not have our world cease to exist. As well as... Well, there are a couple other smaller things, but that's my primary objective. But in the meantime, I'm not going to be all that much use until I get another weapon and a way to use it. So I may be out of commission for a little bit.
I have this mace thing.
I suppose we should try to figure out what all these things we got in the tower are. If that mace ends up being something incredibly useful.
Amazing.
Nameless, you always know when to bring the jokes in. It's phenomenal.
I suppose there is that and a
Thank you.
couple. There's that and a couple other things we got. We might want to have those looked at. Figure out what they can do.
I could try to put it in the thing upstairs.
I don't think we need a magical mace dragon.
Now that you've said it, actually. Now that you've said it, that may be more useful than anything else we could do with it.
Alright, we make your arm just a roost for a dragon. And you just have a dragon there now. That's how you live. Maybe he'll help you eat? I don't know.
Outside of that, I actually wanted to talk to you. Well, I wanted to talk to everybody, but particularly you, Liam, about Core Hall. I think I may have pieced together a way to do something about it.
Gold coin currently sits inside one of the bowls of oatmeal, just chowing down.
So he does have to eat. Okay.
Well, or at least he likes.
Or at least he enjoys eating. Is he grown at all, or is he?
Nope.
Okay.
I put my hand in the oatmeal, and I put him on my shoulder.
So you take him out of the oatmeal.
All right.
And put
you're
him
just
on my
like-
shoulder.
Then you
Nice.
were just
Cobalt
That's
press.
good.
putting oatmeal.
Stop it. All right.
So good.
Well. Yeah. I guess after we finish up, we'll head over to Nereth's. If he's okay with it.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I'll go call
So
Rick like you see. But
I knew what the overall lying goal was. You know, like we're
Yeah.
gonna go move the stones. Perhaps the one who knows where the stones are could tell us maybe where we should go first.
Oh, right. So, there's a couple interesting things. Even the ones that we don't have to move. For example, something I thought was interesting. Divination isn't here. It isn't in our world, really. It's above us. It's in the sky. Which my current thought is that it may be a star, or maybe it's simply on one of the moons or something. But I think it's fitting. The school of magic that lets us look over the world, essentially, is over the world. But thankfully, we don't have to move that one. That one gets to stay where it is. So we don't have to build something that can take us into space. I'm sorry, Liam.
Liam's like,
Man, I wanted to turn our house into a rocket.
or at least my pangolin into one. I don't know.
One of the ones that needs to move, I've said before, is the one that powers this house. Transmutation. It needs to go to a continent to the south. One that we haven't yet been to.
Dinotopia.
Dinotopia, yes. The illusion stone, the one that we ran into in the Hills of Madness, needs to be returned to Rakia. I'm not sure why it was moved to that spot, but it was. Abjuration, the stone underneath the stead, needs to go back to Core Hall. Which ties into how I think we may be able to fix the problem in Core Hall. Both because it may help us do that, and also we may want to take care of the situation in Core Hall before we put the stone there.
Panther speaks and he's like, I don't know, that's kind of a mighty fine deterrent.
Yeah. That, and also trying to get Sestead to let go of the stone may not be the easiest. We'll need to grease the wheels, speak correctly, all that.
Do you mean like physically, like it's gonna be stuck there, or like the city people?
Both, honestly. I'm not sure how they got it under. That's a very narrow staircase. I'm assuming it must move through magical means or something. But also, moving the stone may mean the end of the spire. It may mean the walls go down. I'm not entirely sure how permanent those things are if the stone moves. I suppose I suppose we did see the same material in Core Hall and it was still standing. So I assume that maybe that means the buildings in Sestead would stay as well.
We could also ask Kalanth, because they
would also
did
know.
it. They
Yes.
did it. They did it.
Yes. And then that leaves Conjuration is under the sea? Or Evocation?
Nope. Evocation.
Evocation. I always get those two confused. And then Evocation is it's in the ocean. It's what Yvonne was trying to reach when she nearly drowned ages ago. I'm not entirely sure how we're supposed to get that one out of there. But I believe that one needs to go to the west, to the western continent, is what he said. Yeah.
World's round. World's round. Western continent.
When you look
No
at your
sense.
when you look at your standard atlas, and you look at the western and eastern hemispheres, I think that's what they mean. I made.
Stone referencing an atlas. Weird.
All right, look.
I'll see myself out.
It's necromancy. So, outside of that, a conjuration, I'm still not entirely sure on. I don't think it needs to move, but it apparently is in a constant state of flux. So I don't know if that means that it constantly changes location, in which case I imagine we couldn't really move it in the first place, or if it constantly changes form. Finding out more about that would be good. Necromancy can stay where it is. Charm can stay where it is. Enchantment can stay where it is. I think that's all of them. Let me
Starts
check.
to count on fingers, gets to 5.
Yeah, I think we covered all of them. Yeah, so we're looking at, I believe, 4 of them needing to move.
I don't think we should do the Sested one quite yet. I don't think that one's gonna be very happy with us.
Well, it depends on its purpose, you know? If we can convince it that...
I mean, it pretty blatantly told me that if I spoke to it on a blue moon once, and it told me that if we took Kalenth out, it would trap me in there. So I feel like that offer extends to us all.
We'll have to see. But also, you talked to the Abjuration?
I did, yeah.
Oh. Did you learn anything that may be helpful? Right now?
Just that it can trap me in there.
Well, its purpose
I'm
is
not,
to defend...
perhaps you don't know, I am not very good at talking to strangers. So they were not wooed with my charm.
That's
So I
fair.
did not really get far along in my conversation.
Well, its purpose is to protect Sested. We may be able to either convince it that, you know, if this plane tears apart, Sested isn't exactly protected, so perhaps going back to Core Hall could be the best thing it could do for Sested. That, or we figure out how to imprint on it and give it a new purpose. Although I suppose it may be something similar to the lines of what you did to the tank, Liam. You gave that machine a new purpose. Perhaps it's a similar process for these mirror stones, just on a greater scale.
Do I gotta lose my new eye too? Because I just made this one, I haven't even used it yet, I don't...
Hopefully we won't have to lose anything more. Although it's very likely there will be sacrifices involved. There's a cost to most things. That said, I think the easiest one, well, at least the one that would give us the least opposition from outside forces, would be illusion. We know that we can get to it. We've gotten to it before. And it's not like anybody is happy that it's there. That said, I'm not entirely sure what effect it would have in Rakia if it was taken back there. I'm also not sure where in Rakia it's supposed to be. So we need to figure those things out. Abjuration is the one we have the most information on. We know where it's supposed to go. We just would need to convince... They all offer their own challenges. getting to evocation is going to be a nightmare. Abjuration we need to negotiate for. Illusion is possibly the most dangerous out of the stones that we need to move. Transmutation is also what's giving us a lot of the tools that we currently have. So, sacrificing transmutation before it's time may make the rest of the job more difficult. Much to think about. But I think for now, the best thing we can do is try to gather information on the parts that we don't know yet. I'm curious why illusion was moved in the first place. What it did in Rekia.
I'm curious about the timeline in regards to the illithid vessel and the stone. Is it possible the illithid took the stone and were using it as a power source and they were brought down?
From my understanding, I believe. I think in conversation with necromancy, they said that the stone was there before the illithid arrived. Why it was there, I have no idea. I think it was more convenient than anything that the illithid were there.
Oh, well, I mean, maybe before we go adventuring and, moving rocks, maybe we should talk to the person who already did it. Or at least look for them. Well, I was thinking more like Dracarius, since, like, our house.
That's fair. They probably... It's possible that they know more about the stones than Kalent does. Either way, it couldn't hurt.
Kalenth told me that the place that Setlali and I went to is Dracarius' home.
How cliched.
So I just thought that maybe that's something we could research.
I think it's a good idea. If we can get a hold of Dracarius, we can probably get a lot of our questions answered.
I'm gonna go to the mirror.
Okay.
It's worth a shot.
Precarious!
Yeah,
Precarious.
that was what I was gonna use.
All right. What's your rhyme?
I don't know if this will work. It's kind of precarious, but I'd really like if I could speak to Dracarius.
Don't forget the cheese. You gotta get the cheese.
Oh, yep.
A little slot opens up.
Yeah.
Do you think the mouseling is like insulted that we're acting like it has the exact appetite of a mouse?
Cheese is cheese.
It's fair. Everybody likes cheese, but
Yeah, everybody likes cheese.
it's like
Even lactose intolerant people like cheese.
that's the problem.
You've encountered this problem before. As it kind of like swirls, it just creates this static noise.
Try moving the antenna.
It seems like if one thing to note, this would be in the knowledge of how this thing works. If the person didn't exist, it wouldn't do anything.
Also, we have to know their face, don't we?
No, do we?
I thought we had to know what they look like.
Maybe.
Maybe not.
Maybe there's a self-portrait in the diary.
Just one of those, like...
About the author.
Yeah, at the end. Oh, man. Along with, like, the sleeve on the inside has a bunch of reviews that are written by Dracarius.
So,
That's about what I expected, but it was worth a shot.
I liked it. I think, I don't know, Setlali, if you don't have plans, maybe you and I could research that together while they go and make an arm.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Do you think that your children would maybe help us on that part? so they can go faster.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look at them. Of course they'd help. They're not doing anything.
Throwing food and just... Dexter's like protecting his book. Webster's,
They're just being messy, so yes, I'm gonna make sure they help.
Dexterity.
After they clean up breakfast.
I get hit with something.
You get hit with
something. I get hit with something.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm about ready to go. No problem.
I was just checking in. Is Nerith chill with his visiting, or?
Yeah, for sure. He's got other work to do, but if you wanted to stop by, he's got time.
Cool. All right. We can head out whenever.
All right. Well, I'm whenever.
All right, we go.
As you head out the door and Lolly and Nameless get ready to research, we will take our break. And thanks for sticking around. Thanks for hanging out. We'll be back here in another 15 minutes. That's usually about how long our breaks last. I don't have anything else to say. Welcome back, everybody, to the Natural Ones. Hope you had a good little break, as much as we have. What? Just all of the rolls that are happening?
Rolling constantly.
It's pretty great. Yeah, and for those who don't know, D&D Beyond, I mean, by this point, it would have been weeks ago. But in our current timeline, D&D Beyond just started their feature of the game log, where they track all your dice rolls, which is really, really cool for any digital users. They're doing a lot of really good Q1 or quarter one. Sorry, let's not use Q anymore.
Why?
Quarter one. They're doing a lot of cool quarter one updates to the site and to the player app and all that other stuff. So it's I don't know. I'm really into it. I like using it a lot. Anyway. Opening back up, the two of you, Philip and Liam, have headed out, going to our fair artificer Nerith's workshop. It is currently evening. It's like probably around 9 or 10 o'clock at night. And so as you get to his shop, you can kind of tell that as you open the door, as you slide the door open, a lot of the stuff has been put away for the day. He seems to be sort of finishing dinner. It's at all intents and purposes, it seems like he's closing up pretty soon, and but he's just sticking around because he knew you guys were coming.
It's a good thing everyone we know is nocturnal.
I mean, write what you know.
I mean, he's also... Yeah, that's true. But yeah, he's also an elf. So he only really has to sleep like 4 hours.
That's fair.
So
that's fair.
I didn't bring a bottle of wine this time. I'll have to bring it when I'm by next Tuesday.
It is always appreciated, but it is not necessary.
As you can see, we got a new problem that I am trying to fix, and I figured you can maybe help out. Gestures at Philip.
Or the 7/8 of Philip.
Oh, it's the right arm.
He says, "Oh, well, that is well, it's just more of an opportunity, I suppose. It depends on if that's how you like to do it. I suppose if you'd like to sit down, we could discuss what you would like from me."
I sit.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it for a bit. Obviously, we need a functioning arm for this arm. I've been thinking a bit about something that we could do to maybe help you out, Philip. In the past, the fact that you don't have many ranged opportunities in terms of combat has been something of an issue, and I've been putting my mind to it. and I had an idea, and I'm curious on your thoughts, Nareth. His hand, generally speaking, Philip's hands aren't the most clever, but he's intensely strong. So as opposed to something that'll like fire off dexterity,
Dude, that was awesome. No, that was a great explanation.
As opposed to something that'll like attaching a gun or a weapon of that sort. I was thinking if it could be more like throwing. So my thought was, if we could make the fist itself detachable, so he could throw either just his fist or whatever it's holding, and add some sort of return mechanic to it, so it would come back. My main thought or wonder is, do you think it would be more cost effective to do it mechanically via some sort of chain mechanism, or magically giving it the return property? Also, what do you think of that idea, Philip?
That sounds really useful. Also a little weird.
That part comes a bit with the territory.
I suppose you got used to it after a while. I mean, your hand doesn't come off, but...
But the eye can, if you want to... No? Alright.
So gross.
I don't hate it.
I would simply say... You would perhaps have less obstruction between the arm and the object being thrown if it was a lodestone or some sort of similar magic. However, that would require a level of bond, game speak attunement. It would probably be something that you would have to attune to. But that is possible. You would also have to assume that, you know, if there was anything that would cancel magic out or sort of repel magic in a way, it would also be affected by that with a lodestone. However, mechanically, you would bypass some of that problem. You wouldn't have to attune. You wouldn't have to attune. You would bypass some of the anti-magic sort of ailments that prevail a lot of dangerous places, but it would probably be prone to potential for
mechanical failure.
Yeah, failure. I was just like, I thought there was another word. Yes, but you could cable like some sort of steel fiber or cable wrapped inside the forearm and then shot out from the hand, gas powered, most likely, potentially.
Do you think that's some kind? We could put something together like that for 25,000 gold?
Well, most assuredly, probably something of that nature would require more than 5,000 gold, especially mechanically. Mechanically speaking, it wouldn't cost more than that. But if you were to do something like a lodestone, that would up the price, depending on which tier of lodestone you could acquire. Or if you would have to buy it from, say, me. Unfortunately, I don't have any designs of that kind.
I was thinking about trying to reach out to Thaddeus
Yes.
for the arm in general, and he might have some ideas about the returning as well.
Highly recommend. He's quite the expert. I mean, he helped, like he helped me design a so.
All right.
Well, I'd be happy with something that just functioned as a regular arm, but if we were going to have this returning feature, I think it might be. I think it might be good to go with the mechanical sort of wire situation. Just thinking about it, I think we could get more uses out of that. Things other than simply attacking people.
I mean, the only difference is that mechanically you would have a finite limit. You know?
When it comes to the carrying weight, or?
Well, more so the range. But carrying limit as well. Yes, you would have a finite sort of ability. So that would all weigh into it, but I don't believe that would change operations too much. It just would give you certain parameters that a lodestone would be able to more easily manipulate.
Oh no. I've seen this look before.
I'm not sure. I'd need to draw something up. If we could get a strong enough cable, and had the winch inside was powerful enough, we might be able to rig it so not only could it return the fist when you throw it,
I could use it to close the distance.
Yeah, or if you threw out, grabbed something, you could pull it toward you or yourself towards it. A ledge, perhaps. Grab that, pull yourself up. Obviously, it would take a relatively high-powered winch return mechanism, but that's something we definitely wouldn't get from a simple return spell in a lodestone. And it does add complication. Probably need some higher quality materials, but we should have the money.
That would certainly bring. But you'd also have to think about it to lift your weight or the weight of others. It would have a finite limit of what it could do that with, but it's possible. Most of what I know about the latch it wasn't extended in the way you're talking about.
Something's happening to your sound.
It was the cat.
Yeah, it was the cat.
Okay, cool.
Is it good now?
Yeah, I'm going to
All
take
right.
that again.
Yeah.
Good.
What I know about the inner mechanics of the hand is that it would probably have an open and a lock position after it is extended from the actual main mechanics. You would still need to have what arguably are mechanical tendons to be fully manipulated. So in an extended position, you probably are only going to get an open and a close once.
Yeah, some sort of maybe a pressure latch on the palm. If you threw it open and wall out, it hit the pressure latch, it would close in on things as a sort of grab mechanic. But you wouldn't be able to really open it until you had it back attached.
Correct.
That seems doable.
Or there might be a way to unlatch, but it's again it would be kind of a one-time.
It forces it. It would force it to come back.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
that's all possible, but I'm not well versed in it. That's more just rudimentary conversations with ideas and a couple ideas that I think could work. But he would certainly be the more capable of the two of us in completing the task. It's very delicate work. I can do delicate work, but not something that I'm not as well versed in. That would be trickier.
Yeah, I'll try and reach out to him once we head back. Ask him about it a bit. See where he's at.
And if you decide to go a Luthlong route, I am happy to provide something for compensation. But I have a few cultivation stones myself, things that would help manipulate space.
I appreciate it. Well, I suppose we're done here.
Appreciate you letting me bounce some ideas off of you. If I have any other thoughts, I'll reach out.
Yes. Are you okay?
Yeah. Right now, I'm more concerned about taking care of things moving forward. There's some stuff we have to get done.
Never on the chore wheel, I understand.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As that comes to a close and you end with heading back to the mansion, we come back over to set Lolly and Nameless. You guys were hoping to go to the library to do research?
Yeah.
Research.
That's where the boxes are, right, too?
Yes. That is where the boxes are, too.
Yeah.
Come on, kiddos. Up we go.
They come along, but most of them are just kind of operating on their own stuff. Webster seems kind of more interested in checking out the books again and just kind of like rearranging them in a very specific order.
So, what do we start looking up? There's kind of... Philip mentioned like 18 things at one time.
Yeah.
And I didn't quite know what... I don't know where we're going next.
Webster, do you know if there's any books that have the origins of the lodestones and where they were originally placed? I mean, I guess that's a good start. I
don't know.
He kind of like takes like a few steps over to the opposite side, and he kind of like searches through. And there's like 3 different books that he kind of pulls and he sets down, and it's all concerning lodestones in different ways. One is kind of talking about the application of. One is the somewhat of the history, like that's kind of the intention, is sort of like where did these come from, and then the last one is a separation of what people have been able to achieve with these things, and it's more of a diary of why that feels dangerous, why these things seem like a commodity that should be kept under lock and key.
So I guess we can start with these. Do we think there's anything else we should probably pull before we start just reading the books?
Well, I was hoping maybe we'd like find a way to know if Dracarius was alive. I don't know if that can be really found in books. I also feel like there's a lot about this house we don't quite know yet. Like, remember how there's that thing that obviously something was trapped in?
Yeah.
I want to know what was trapped in there.
I mean, we could always say screw the books and just go through the door, but do we want to do that without them? Or do we want to do that
Well, I don't
with
know
them?
if the dragon's land is gonna know that either. I don't know how to... Maybe we should have waited for Liam.
No. I mean,
But I thought that we were strong, independent women.
I thought we could
I
do
think
this.
we are.
Maybe I had misplaced faith.
No, I think we are. I think we just have different things that we're smarter than Liam in. Haha.
I just don't know how to explore ancient technology very well.
Yeah, that
But
is his area.
Like, maybe I missed this, but where is the lodestone exactly?
You know, it's in that one place in the house. We've seen. I have no idea. I don't know. I think it might be the whole house. It might be maybe it's the boxes. Maybe it's the boxes. They did make gold coin. Why don't we go try? Why don't we? Excuse me, Webster. Do you know if there's any books on the boxes that are on the other floor?
Yeah, here's
library?
the instruction booklet.
Oh, thank you.
No, there's no books on.
I
there's
know.
No books on
I know.
the thing.
Because I'm also pretty sure I've asked this question before and we made that joke. Or I asked if there was a how-to guide or something.
Nameless? I'm sorry. I thought you started to say. I'm just making sure.
And then I'm doing something really quickly.
Is it rolling a D100 for fun again? Because I want it to be so bad. Just really quick.
I do want to kind of do it again. I'll be completely honest.
I just need to 67. Cool. All right. Oh, 50.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, as you, I'm gonna talk as you guys are thinking. I mean, the kids are kind of like running around. You see Webster trying to like librarian them, shame them into calming down in the library. But you also see that like Hawking is like working on something at the table, and it's kind of just like this. It's a cylinder, and it has he's like there's a box next to it, like a small jewelry box type thing. Mm-hmm. He's working on this like cylindrical thing, and it's got this tower on one side, and it's kind of all like this like 3D model of this very small, what you can kind of tell as you're looking at it, it's like a very small Sested, and like he's like made a spire of justice and everything, and as he's working on it and twisting, and he's got these little screwdrivers, he's got a lot of little tiny little moving parts, and he kind of gets it. It's like within 10 minutes, it seems like he's been working on this for days. And towards like the end of the 10 minutes, you see him like flick a little latch, like a little lever at the bottom of it, and it starts to like rotate, and like a little like chiptune-y like carousel kind of like lullaby tune starts playing, and then he turns the lever off and it stops spinning.
I don't remember buying him that Lego set for Christmas, but I'm sure I must have.
Small kobold over there.
Hawking.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Making stuff.
Why? What are you doing? What is it for?
It's for me. I want to do it.
What does it do?
He hits the lever again, and it spins, and it starts playing the music.
So you just wanted a music box?
No, she doesn't mean that in a... No, she means that in a cool way.
He just he pulls it away from you, and then just kind of like keeps working.
And there's
on
like,
what did you do today, Nameless? I bullied a child.
Hawking, what did you use to make it work?
It's because it's really cool. Stop laughing.
I
just
think
keeps
it's
glaring.
really cool. I think it's really cool, and I would like to know what you used to make it work.
Rosa sort of speaks up. He used the parts from the doors. And like, he's like, shush.
Like different doors, or the door that we use to leave the house?
Doors. Took the stuff off the doors.
Do you
Which
mean the
ones?
door? Yeah.
The one's downstairs.
Do you mean like downstairs, like the elevator, or do you mean downstairs, like the main doorway?
The rooms where we sleep.
Oh, your bedroom. Okay. Okay.
They sleep downstairs?
No, they sleep where we sleep, but because they technically. But okay.
There's the rooms. The second floor has all the rooms.
Yeah.
The first
We are up a floor.
Right. You're
There
in
was
the-
one down level.
The one down.
I'm on the page now. I went like downstairs. I'm like, you
No,
make
no,
them
no.
sleep in the basement? And I was like, oh, okay.
No,
I'm
I'm not
on the
that
same
horrible of a mother. So
So-
the magic was to turn it on was from the doors.
No magic. Science.
It's mechanical magic. It's that stuff that Liam does.
Mm.
But have you ever seen non-mechanical magic, like a big rock or something?
This is like blowing his brain. Like he's like, I've seen big
I don't-
rocks. I've seen big rocks.
In the house?
Like in the house.
No.
Have any of you seen a big shiny rock that looks super cool?
All seven of them are like. They don't have a concept of that. They don't go anywhere that they're technically not supposed to, kind of a thing. Like they are curious and they've gone into a lot of places in the house, but they're still kids. They're not like.
Your child
Okay.
made a...
Sorry, go.
What? Oh,
No,
did
go
your
ahead.
child make a thing that's like a searching to like organize this thing? The library.
He does have a system, yes.
But
Yeah.
are there like index cards
Yeah,
or something like the like?
yeah. He said
You
Okay.
can
wants
ask.
to do that.
You can talk to
I
them.
don't
They do
like
speak
them.
common.
I don't do well with them. That's what I meant to say.
No, we got it on recording. We've got it on camera. We've got
I meant I don't do well with them.
Nameless hates kids.
I don't like
She
talking
likes
to
you.
them. So in
This is beautiful.
I am wondering if maybe we try to make something like a magnifying glass that like detects magic, but like we do the transmutation thing, and maybe we could find the rock, the stone, the loads mirrored thing.
It's worth a shot. I don't see. We've had worse ideas, so
I want to try and find a magnifying glass. I want to try and find one of the index cards for the map. I want to try and find, or for the library, I want to try and find a map from the room. And I want to try maybe with the journal, but I don't know if that's the best idea.
You're not like looking for a specific part of the index. It's just like it as a whole.
Just something that searches for things.
Gotcha. Okay.
I don't know if you have a better idea for what would be replacing the journal.
I mean, I have the journal, so I don't think it's a problem.
I just don't know what happens to the items when we put them. I don't know what happened to my hair. to say that.
What if I just take one of the pages that are blank at the end and just rip it? out and put it in there because it's still part of the journal.
Maybe just a corner of it, because maybe the rest of it, we might have other writing on it.
Yeah, okay. So I can go get the magnifying glass, unless you want to do it, and I can get the stuff from here since you don't want to speak to Webster.
I just don't think they like me very much. But I'll find
I
the
don't think
magnifying glass.
They don't like me either, if that counts for anything. And I'm their mother, so.
They like you.
We'll talk about this at a later time. I'll go get the stuff.
A magnifying glass is easy to find, and so is a index of the library, as well as the third item you said was a map.
Like, I want to rip a picture of a map of the world or whatever from...
Yeah. From an atlas or
book.
whatever is
Yeah.
easy to find. And then placing a corner ripped out of the Journal of Jacarius into the fourth one. What is the one that you want to use as the grounding?
I was thinking the magnifying glass. Do you think that's okay?
Yeah.
The magnifying glass, then.
Okay. Then you placing the objects inside and taking an extra moment to kind of prep it all. You activate the machine, and as the pylon at the center begins to charge and wave, and the four boxes start to glow, and they all kind of make this sort of Tesla coil around each other, and it kind of like grows in intensity as it keeps moving, and at the end, after this sort of blinding light, sort of quick flash, the other three dim down as the grounding plate is sort of still in its sort of like glowing position, like glowing state. And now I will roll to see what happens.
I hope it does exactly what I want it to.
I'm excited to see what it is. I think this was a cool idea.
Maybe it too will become a gold dragon.
Just
Or
a
glass
just like a glass
A
dragon.
glass dragon.
Imagine
Name it
dragons.
I wish,
Puff,
I wish.
the imaginary
with all my
dragon.
heart.
So, as the light what is left within the case is it's like a pair of spectacles, right? Like just like glasses, just like they are this sort of dark green lenses. Thin frames, wired frames, resting inside.
Do you mind if I put them on?
Please, the dark green will clash with my skin tone, so yeah.
I put them on.
As you open the case and you take out the glasses, slide them on. There's this moment where you're worried it's not going to do anything. You're kind of looking around, everything is just kind of tinted green.
It's not working.
You look down, and all of a sudden, like a heat wave, you see way below you at this moment just this heat signature pulsing in a rough shape, sort of like trapezoidal kind of. It doesn't have like an it's sort of, it's cut in edges, right? But like it doesn't. It's not like a distinct shape. It's not like a square or something like that. It's free form shape. So
I
in
think
the
we
dark, in like the green tint of the glasses, it's this starkly red and yellow sort of waving energy.
I think it works. I think we should go down more.
Okay. Kids, stay up here, and if for some reason you see some large glowing object, don't touch it.
We run downstairs to see if I'm closer to the rock. Or the
As you-
glowing object.
As you head downstairs from the research library, moving down, it is getting closer. It's getting like bigger, right? Like you can tell that it is relative to your position. And so as you move down and you move back one more to the living room, it's getting bigger. It's getting closer. It seems like you'd have to keep moving down to get to it, though.
We do?
Sure.
Yeah.
Hitting the button to the elevator, coming down to the lower level, the sub level, where you guys can control all the pipes and everything. It seems like it's even further below that. Or it's just, I don't mean to say like further, like it's like so much like a big distance. You're at this point. It seems like what you can gauge, knowing that you're at the bottom level, right, of what the house is currently. Like you can tell that it's probably within 50 feet, 60 feet of you.
So it's further down. Even more. I don't really like this room in general. Do you think we should wait? Or do you want to just say screw it and go down?
I mean, I'm cool with going down, but I think maybe Philip and Liam will be a little upset. Not upset, but sad if we discover it without them.
Can we tell
they
them
went
we're
to go
really...
do their own.
Well, they went to go fix his arm.
Yeah.
But, okay. We'll wait. Did you want to go read the books now?
Yeah. We can go do that.
Do you want to try the glasses on?
Yeah, I kind of do.
Here you go.
But if it looks bad with my skin tone, tell me to take it off immediately. How bad?
I'm not really the one for fashion choices.
Yeah, but like I'm green, the glasses are green.
It looks good.
Oh, thanks. Thanks. Yeah, let's go back. This is super cool. What if it's just magical items since that's what we asked for, right? It's not like Nameless has a heat signature. Well, I guess Nameless is magical-ish, right? Yeah, so wouldn't Nameless have like a heat signature bouncing off of her?
No.
Okay, so it is just the lodestone. Okay, cool. Alright, back we go. And we'll go back to the library.
Well, that's actually a good question. Did I notice anything else glowing when I was in our rush?
No, just that. It had the highest heat signature. It had... There's nothing else that was picking up.
Oh, I wonder if Liam's eye is gonna do this.
What if it's just Dracarius laying down there?
He's a trapezoid. That's what happened to him.
That'd be kind of cool.
Okay, I was just curious.
No, I'm just letting you... Yeah, that's a perfectly fine question.
Back to the
I
library.
don't have anything else.
Reading the books is not a hard feat, but I'd say anything you learn from those things isn't already stuff that you already know. It's already stuff
Lame.
that you know, right? Like no deeper gleanings or learnings through this stuff. Again, and you don't even really get that far into any of the books before the two of them return. It's kind of one of the books, again, like talking about the dangers of these things, seems to be from from a perspective of someone who's pretty conservative anyway, doesn't like a lot of magic being used in general, and is sort of afraid of technology. And so the two of them together make this person very nervous. And the history of them, again, is something that you kind of already know. It's born from Mistra, as far as anyone can tell. But now that the other two are back, that's where we will cut to. And I'd say you guys would find them in the research library, so you guys would be there for whatever you want to talk about.
Welcome back.
Hello.
Nameless made a thing.
Oh, what
I
kind of
put
thing?
objects in a boxes, and I made glasses that show, well, I think whoever's wearing them, where the lodestone is. I don't know. Oh, Liam, come here.
Alright.
Are you still wearing them, Setlali?
Sure, let's say yeah. Can I see his eye? Like I see his eye, but like, is it?
Very faintly, it is picking something up.
Nameless. I can see it very faintly, but I can see it.
So that would mean I made a lodestone detector.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. I love that.
Thanks. I think it was by chance. But I did
Most
it.
things are.
But
Yeah.
the lodestone for the house is really far down in the basement.
Sure, that makes sense.
We didn't touch it.
That's fair. I mean, it's one of the few lodestones we've come across that we haven't talked to, have we?
No, well, I do wonder, so far we've been interfacing. We have two ways of communicating with this house, right? We've got the panel down in the engine room, and then we've got the tree in the courtyard. We've communicated or interacted with this house through both of those means. It's entirely possible, if all of this is born from the stone, that those things are some offshoot of the stone. But yeah, it would be nice to be able to get into the same room as it and be able to figure that out for sure.
Yeah. Do y'all want to head down to the basement, see if we can use your glasses to maybe pinpoint it and find a way into the room with this thing?
I don't remember there being any hatches down there.
I don't either, but you know, if we know precisely where to look, it might help.
Yeah, might as well.
Follow me, since I'm wearing the glasses.
Heading into the sub-level, again, you see the same things at Lolly that was kind of just that you saw earlier, which was, it's below you, maybe 60, 70 feet, maybe 50. It's kind of hard to position exactly. But if the group is trying to find a way through, go ahead and give me, we're going to do like a group investigation check. So everybody roll a d20 and add your investigation.
You mean subtract your investigation in my case?
That was so close to being bad, and then it was instead good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Liam,
21.
nameless?
Natural 20 for 21.
Good. Is it Lolly?
12.
Very, very astute searchers in this endeavor, which is very helpful. As you guys are kind of looking around, you're trying to find any seams, you're trying to find any latches, hatches, that kind of stuff that could potentially move you further in. And it's only Nameless who finds it, truthfully. This small, almost infinitesimally small rune signature at the corner of like where the podium is and where the little semicircle room is. There's this one spot right on the surface of the wall that has this little runic carving that in Draconic reads as "Hello and welcome."
Speak the draconic word for friend.
Nope.
I say thank you.
Thank you. I want to touch it.
Touch it.
Hello and welcome.
Can maybe one of you two Draconicers say it
Yeah.
in Draconic?
Yes.
Just making
Hello
sure.
and welcome. In Draconic.
Try, thank you. This is a lovely home. I love
Thank
what
you for having us.
I love what you've done with the place.
Bella.
Liam, maybe there's something we can do on the screen.
Sure, I'll give that a go. Stay.
Operating the screen, there are the different panels, and there is still one that is blank, and there are, there's the house operation, there's the movement, there's the room. Sorry, that's the house operation is what I was trying to say. It's like there's the different rooms, there's manipulating the movement of the house, and there is sort of like the fuel reserve and like the energy transfer, as well as there is the door kind of control as well. So,
What happens when I click on the empty space?
nothing.
Is there any place to like input commands directly? Can I put up DOS?
Yeah, just type CMD and hit enter.
Yeah.
No, there's no nothing like that. It's kind of an interface system.
Hello and welcome.
As you have the screen open, like this little, as you say those words out loud, the blank button comes into use.
Oh, what does it say?
Tamagotchi.
Yeah, it's. No, it says. It says like safe, but something more like vault, right? Like
Vault.
right.
Not safety, but the safe that. Noun. Boop. Boop.
That wall that has the writing on it. Slides over, steps down as soon as the pressure is released from that door, and slides over. A wave of a chaotic magic hits, undulating. That usual feeling.
Yeah, I think we found it.
I'm gonna cast intellectual fortress.
Nice.
All right.
You got any extra room in there, or?
Can you go ahead and roll me a percentage die after that?
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Maybe we should have done that first.
Or yeah.
40.
The door sits open. If you guys would like to head in, or if you would like to close the door, that's also open to you.
I've got a decent con save, and I have advantage on intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saves right now because of intellect fortress and resistance to psychic damage if it attacks my brain. I think I'm pretty set too.
I'm trying to remember. I think there's generally been like I think there's generally been like 2 saves involved when we've touched a stone. Like usually there's like the standard touching a stone thing, and then also one that matches what the stone does, I think. So it'll probably be a wisdom and a constitution.
I'm pretty solid for those.
I have advantage against magical effects, so if it tries anything, I'm assuming that that's okay.
Maybe you both can touch it, and Philip and I can wait out here. Because I don't want to touch it. Like, no offense, transmutation, but I don't want to do that. But sometimes the rocks reveal different things. The stones, I don't want to call them rocks, but they do different things for different people. They reveal things for different people. And while Liam might be able to do all the cool, strong things, you're like the most capable warrior in this predicament. Setlali has made this place feel like a home the most by bringing a family into it. And if the goal is to be a house,
It's not a bad line of thinking.
Yeah.
and then
It's
we
worth
can
a
pull
shot.
you out.
When we talked to the stone under Sista, did me and Philip touch it at the same time, or did we take turns?
We took turns.
Okay.
You went, and then once you were out, I went.
I don't know if we touched it at the same time. We might be having the same conversation. I'm not sure. I don't think we've done it.
I don't think we've
So
ever
we might
actually...
wanna-
I think we've always taken turns.
No. Do you wanna go
Okay.
first? Give it a go. Let me know what you find out, and then I'll try. Or do you wanna?
Sure.
I don't
Right.
want to. I don't want to just stay out here though, in case something happens. I would like to at least be in the room.
Oh, I imagined we were all
Sure, yeah.
going in there,
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you wanted to stay here. Sorry.
No, well, I just don't want to touch the thing.
Okay. All right.
You don't
Joe.
want to touch the bread. I get it.
I don't want to touch them. It inked.
Let's do it. Let's do this. Let's talk to a big stone.
Alright.
Taking the
I'll
steps.
give Nameless the glasses.
Taking the steps down into the farther reaches. As you exit the main first 5 steps, and you get below what the floor of that sub-level is, you come into natural rock formations. Carved into it, right, are the steps, but the walls turn into stone, and as you end it's sort of a spiral staircase down, and then you enter a room, much like all of the other Mirstones that you've been around. It is a sort of carved out, hollow area. The difference with this one being it's much lower ceiling. Most of them are pretty open. This one seems to be very contained. So it's only about 8 or 9 feet clearance. So I guess that really only matters for Philip, but
The question is this cavern somehow underneath our actual physical house? Or is that wall we walked through some sort of magic door that put us into a cave system somewhere else?
It's incredibly likely. Man, maybe we actually don't have to move the stone at all. Maybe the stone is actually where it's already supposed to be.
We don't...
Well, we can find that out when we touch. You can ask.
Yeah, we can give it
While
a go.
they're doing that, can I collect samples of the dust to see if maybe I can figure out where we are?
I love it. It's so good.
Yeah, this dirt tastes like.
Yeah, well, I was trying to imagine like how she was going to test the dirt, it's like, or like test the dust. But yeah, that's totally possible. Just kind of like taking out a chisel or something, just kind of digging into the rock a little bit, and taking a few different little chunks of it. This
Soil samples.
Yeah,
That's
these have been, there's the iridescent sort of nature to the entire room, and like the aurora borealis effect is kind of still waving through. This is a like deeply orange, almost like kind of amber stone, and so as an effect, like the borealis effect is more like yellows and reds at that point as it's like pushing off of this thing. So if you two are hoping to step up and just and touch it at the same time, or was it going to be one at a time?
We were going to take turns. It's Lolly first.
Okay. Go ahead and make me a wisdom saving throw as you place your hand onto the stone.
She gets Phillips +4, yeah?
Yes.
I'm hanging around. What kind of save is it?
26. Wisdom.
Wisdom. Okay.
A surge as you are brought into a white room. Just an endless white. What would you do?
Is there anyone there?
It's an
with me,
endless
or is it-
white. You are the only thing that you can see.
Hello? I've touched a lodestone before, but I've never been by myself in one of these. How does this work?
As you try to reach out, a fog, this sort of orange fog, settles at your feet. And at the core of you, you hear a voice, and it says, good to meet you.
And you?
How might I help you?
First of all, I'm Setlali. I currently reside in the house.
Yes. Yes, you do.
And I, you must know a lot about Dracarius. Yes?
It's just silence. The fog is persisting, but there's no response.
Okay, do you happen to know where they might be? I mean, that's a very odd question to ask because you're stuck to this house, but they created the house, so maybe you would know their whereabouts.
I haven't seen them in some time. Last I saw them, they broke free of the vault and went through the door and haven't been back since.
why were they in... Who? Oh, sorry. There's so many questions. Why were they in the vault?
They placed themselves there.
Why?
Well, he saw it as the only option for the moment. There's a thing
What?
much more terrible that he had to protect himself from. And, by proxy, protect others from. It was a fascinating endeavor. I was more curious as to how to make it myself. But, not possible for me. And, when he left the vault, it was back home.
Do you know what he was protecting himself from?
He called it an egregore.
I'm gonna have to look that up. I'd ask you if you... I mean, you probably know, but I don't want you to be doing all the work. Unless you want to tell me, I'd be... either way is fine.
There's always an exchange. And a cost to such an exchange.
Yeah, I'm unfortunately not good at making good decisions when it comes to exchanging things that have to do with me and my family, so unfortunately I will probably just go to the library and do that myself.
I suppose that's fine, but... Well, I've already answered some questions. I suppose I was putting it in faith that you'd have something to give me.
Oh, I guess that's true. One last question, and then we can talk about the trade-off. Are you happy here?
Don't know how to quantify that. Doesn't register. I don't deal in happiness. I deal in efficiency, and I deal in logic. If happiness is having a purpose, and fulfilling that purpose diligently and expediently and very well, then yes, I am happy. That purpose is given to me by Dracarius, has made me what I am. It's also what helped me make Rorgir what she was. And in turn, Dracarius what he was. We all learn and benefit from exchanges. Now, that's, by my calculation, 4 questions. How do you propose to pay for those questions?
I'd say money, but I have a feeling you have no use for that.
Money can always be turned into something else, but it might be quite a sum.
Is there anything you feel like you want or need from me?
It's much more interesting if I ask you. What do you think I want?
Unfortunately, I am not the most knowledgeable when it comes to lodestones, so I'm not entirely versed in what one might want.
Would you like me to choose?
Yeah.
Very well. Accepted. Go ahead and roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Ooh, yikes. $20. Dirty.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay.
My hair goes away.
As your hand there is a moment, all of you watching. There's a moment, all of you watching, that you end up being able to like numb the pain and not take any damage from this, from the succeeding, and you're just whew. It just there sits an uneasiness to you. That's all.
How was it?
They're very matter of fact. I found out what was in the vault.
Ah!
It was Dracarius.
Oh!
And the stone not only made Dracarius, but made Borgia who they are. Which leads me to believe, and this is just a guess, and I could be 100% wrong, that maybe Dracarius is now a dragon? Or at least something that had claws? But they were protecting themselves.
I think if Borgia is now a dragon, what are the odds that Dracarius was a dragon and Borgia wasn't? And they've traded places. Dracarius has been writing books. Dracarius has been... I feel like somebody would have mentioned.
I know this isn't your intention, but I love the idea that Philip's like, a dragon writing a book is impossible.
Have you seen the size of books?
Have you seen the size of dragons?
Have you seen the size of I rest my
Please
case.
continue.
I rest my case.
Well, I feel like Kalenth might have let us know that then.
Yeah, I feel like Kalenth would have mentioned if it was a dragon.
Kalenth, trustworthy or not, Kalenth isn't the most forthcoming font of information.
I don't know.
Well,
I guess I'm just used to everybody I know who's interacted with dragons being very proud of the fact that they're a dragon friend. I have a hard time imagining somebody keeping that a secret.
Fair enough.
Also,
it is really hard.
Also, if Kalenth's main teacher was a dragon, I don't know.
Might have not been. We've seen a recent edition of a Dracarius book. It wasn't a new book. Dracarius might not have been a dragon and became one.
It was the first edition.
Oh, you're right. Wait. Okay.
It was a recent book.
Okay. Okay. Remember their weird dragon? Is that a thing? Are weird dragons a thing? Nameless is almost a weird dragon. From my understanding.
Honestly, yeah, Sylvain is kind of that's not that bad.
Basically a were dragon from my understanding of it.
By choice.
Which is very little understanding.
So, Lolly, I think you were still talking though, right? Like you still had more to say?
No, I was just gonna tell Liam
Nobody else's fault.
that it does ask for something in return. Just be mindful of how many questions you ask, because I think maybe it takes more the more questions you ask, because it did specify how many questions I had asked it. So
it's a good thing Liam doesn't like to ask questions.
Oh, yikesy wikesy.
Well, is there anything we still need to know?
Panther speaks up. He says, "You said that he was protecting himself."
Yeah, I forgot. I've got
Yes.
some. Oh, wait. Who was protecting himself? Dracarius was protecting himself. Dracarius.
Dracarius was protecting
Asparagus.
Wingardium Dracarioso.
Yes, Dracarius was protecting himself and others from something that
And,
started with an E, but I got so excited about the fact that we found out what was in the vault that I quite literally blanked on what the fuck it was called. But it does start with an E, and I didn't ask it to tell me because I knew it was going to ask me for more in return if I didn't just do the information, like find the information myself. But once I search into my heart of hearts...
Do you want me to tell
And
you what
find-
it is?
Wait,
Yes,
so
I
you
do.
can- like,
Yeah.
An egregore.
An egregore.
Gregor.
I figured it out.
Oh.
So I'm going to look that up. I'm also going to write it down in my handy dandy notebook so I don't forget it.
And have any of you guys ever heard of an egregore?
Egregore.
Like Egreogre? How did you spell it?
No, that's not far off. Like I'm like
Swap the O and the G.
Gore. So it's like Egregore. So that's what I mean. It's like it's eerily yeah.
Literally,
it was-
the O and the
O
G.
and G,
Swap,
like,
and
that's
it's
it.
and it's
Oh.
yeah,
and it's egregore.
yeah. Egregore.
Like Angry Ogre?
Agri ogres. Agri ogres. That's my favorite board game growing up. I loved it. I took all the pieces apart though, and I built a music box. You know.
I have a feeling that maybe Kalenth knows something about it, but I kind of would rather just do the research on my own.
Well, I think the starting point would just be to ask Kolenth if Dracarius was a dragon when he was teaching him.
That's a fair point. I find out that the whole the Dracarius dragon thing. Figure out the details of that. What question should I ask this thing? Now I'm nervous about it. So
Well,
if
that's
we
the
could
thing. Well, that's what I'm wondering. Like,
figure out what we need to know.
Do we actually have more things to ask the stone?
it would be nice to know if we are still in the house. You know, that thing. Like,
Oh, the location
Maybe
would be
they-
good.
yeah. If we're still in the house when we're in this room, or if the
Can I glance?
path from here to there
Can I
is
Can I glance around the cavern? Is there any way out of here other than the staircase we came down?
no. Did you ask it anything about its purpose as a stone?
It kept talking about its purpose, but it didn't specify what. I asked if it was happy. I did warn it that I am not well versed in lodestone knowledge. Luckily, it didn't judge me for that, even though I judge myself. But
Oh, you don't want to pull
It just-
a Liam and take away someone else's special ability by also learning it. Cough, cough. Be learning all the languages, so no one has their own things.
Do you have Sylvan?
No,
Ha!
just Gnomish and Draconic and Goblin and Halfling.
I know Sylvan.
God damn it! I can never be secretive.
I'm literally a Sylvain.
Oh,
Sylvan.
yeah. I guess that would do it.
Sylvain.
You are an elf. Well,
So I could ask that the location thing. I could ask it if we have general questions about putting him back. If it has feelings about that, or if we'll need to do something to put the stones back in general. We've never really confronted a stone about this. We want to move you around thing.
well, we did. That was the thing with necromancy.
Right, you did.
Basically,
But necromancy was where it needed to be.
necromancy was where it needed to be. Putting the stones back is also something that aligns with necromancy's purpose. The only opposition we might get from moving the stones is if it would get in the way of the purpose they've been assigned. Unless we imprint them with a new purpose, I suppose. Although we still aren't entirely sure how that process works. So,
That might be a Clent question.
it could
Or
be
a
a glance.
Dracarius question. more.
I feel like finding Dracarius is probably the most helpful thing we could do at this point.
It also hasn't seen Dracarius since he broke out, so he does not know. It does not know where he is located at the moment.
Point of clarification. Now, Dracarius turning into what Dracarius is, whatever that means, was that what they were doing to protect themselves, or was locking them in the vault what they were doing to protect themselves?
I think locking them in the vault was to protect themselves.
Question, what does it take from you? I know that might be personal.
I don't know. I just feel really weird. But, like, that's about it.
Weirdness.
But
if I had to...
does it...
Go ahead, Nameless.
Does it maybe take away your humanity? Maybe make you less human?
Maybe.
The more we
Do I
understand...
seem less of myself?
No physical changes, no specific things externally.
The more we understand about a school of magic, the easier it'll be to understand what the cost may be. For necromancy, for example, it's something that deals with life force, both giving and taking. For enchantment, you're talking about giving away agency. For illusion, I suppose, giving away your sanity, your grounding in the real world.
Perception.
Seems to make sense. Perception, yeah. For transmutation, it
didn't turn any part of you into gold, did it? Is any part of you gold now? Maybe?
I wish.
Fair enough.
I'd be so rich.
We're used to
we're already pretty wealthy.
We could pay off Ark. Damn.
We're used to thinking of
we'll do that someday. Conspicuously Pat's giant bag of treasure.
We're used to thinking of transmutation as as changing physical form, but you're looking at everybody has an essence. You know, everybody has their own signature that you can detect. The way that they tie into fabric, the way that, you know, the stuff they're made up of that places them in this world. So if you're talking about transmuting them, you're talking about changing that essence. We're used to the physical signs, but it's extremely possible that it starts internally.
Alright, so what...
maybe because Dracarius was using the stone so willy-nilly, he became Dragon Man.
Yeah. I really want to know if he started as a dragon or turned into a dragon. I initially thought it was just a guy who liked dragons a whole lot, but if he ends up being a dragon the whole time, that changes things.
Well, I think that's where he's from. I don't think he was a dragon.
He's just
I
from
mean, I guess
Donutopia.
it's possible.
Alright, so ask where the stone is currently, or if it's in the if it's in the house. Should I ask it about?
I wouldn't ask
What?
it about Dracarius.
Alright.
I feel like we could just ask Colent for clarification on the dragon situation.
Alright, so I'll ask about putting stones back, maybe, if it has any thoughts on that. I know it won't have thoughts, but
I think a clarification of its purpose would help give us information on that. You know, if we can find a way to do it without going against its purpose, then we don't need to worry about it. All I'm saying is, we've got a lot of information from necromancy. I don't know if we want to risk. I don't know if we want to risk a cost for information that we already have.
yeah. Okay, so its purpose and where the stone currently resides, if it's in the house, attached to the house.
Right now, I'd assume that its purpose is to be a font of creativity. This isn't just a house. This is a house that's full of ways to create all sorts of things. So
Yeah.
being
By
the
transmuting
forge.
nether energy, ever energy.
even smithing, even being an artificer, that's transmutation through non-magical means. It's still about taking some materials and turning it into something else.
Yeah. This thing speaks my language. This will go great. I think it's going to go just awesome. Boosh.
Oh, I was hoping for guidance first, but here we go. But
I got it.
Molly.
he just went.
Well, it wouldn't be guidance, it would have to be blessed, so wisdom saving throw.
That's fair. Bless. It's too late. All right.
Wisdom?
Yes. Saving
Great. I have advantage, and
throw. +4.
I get +4.
Yes, sir.
Plus my already +1, so it'll be whatever the higher one is +5. That's a 20.
20. Very nice. Very similar sensation hits you that you've had before. Into a white room. Void. Ever extending.
Hello and welcome.
An ease of like this gold amber fog comes to your moment, and as it hits you at the core of your being, you feel hello.
I had a couple questions. Just some points of clarification that my friend didn't ask. Seeing as we're residing in your ward, or under
Yes.
your care, I suppose.
Yes, you are. Happy to be here. Happy. Sorry, that was just more me than it was. I just was kind of laughing at it. No, he says. It says. Yes.
Is this cave where the stone resides? Is that physically in the house right now, or does the path to this area teleport us like the magical door in the house
Now
itself?
the door is the door. I am the house.
Right, so this physical location is the house. There's just a cave system under it.
Yes.
All right, good to know. Good to know. I gotta pay more attention next time I'm outside this thing, because this is massive. I was also
Should be.
a bit curious. I was a bit curious as to what specifically the purpose you've been set to is.
I appreciate the expediency with which you decided to show up and ask questions. Truthful. It makes the business we need to do that much easier. My purpose. Hold on.
I'll take things that make me nervous for 100.
It was the cat.
Is the cat.
Yeah, that was mine. Sorry. She's like freaked out and then like ran towards Chris. What the fuck? Sorry. My purpose is to educate, to find, to disseminate, to understand, and to change what needs to be changed, and to further. It's matter is matter is matter is matter.
You're like a walking action librarian.
Not certain how I agree on the action part, but
Well, it's the changing things. That's the action. Because if you were just a walking librarian, you'd be going out, gathering information, preserving it, that sort of thing. Which clearly you are built as a means to do that, to obtain this information and study it and use it. Great workshops, by the way, big fan. But the ability to affect things is more active than just the preservation of knowledge, which is interesting. As a part of your purpose, do you yourself engage in preserving that knowledge, or is it simply that you were built as a vehicle for people who desire to do those things?
Curiously, both. I actively decide what I want to find and what I want to explore. But, as with many things that require handling, testing, and the like, you need other hands. You need other integers. You need other factors. You need other tests.
Yeah.
So whatever you put in those glass cases, for instance, I love seeing what happens.
I am a
Endlessly
fan
curious.
myself.
Seems like you and I could get along.
I think it's possible we could.
Then my purpose is then that is my purpose. Finding those like you. The endlessly curious.
Excellent. Excellent. That's nice. It's good to be appreciated. Mostly people just get irritated when I start talking, prattling on about stuff. But that's good. We're doing some business about the world with Muirstones. Seems to me the largest part of it. My friend Philip, you probably know him or
I
sense him
sense
at
him.
least.
I detect him.
He is big on trying to save the world, keep the planes from being all collapsy, which I understand is a good thing, and I can't help but feel like the main reason I want to go along with it is simply because, I mean, if this plane didn't exist, I couldn't learn any more from it. You know?
Arguably, you could learn other things if it changes.
It's true, but I haven't learned all the things on this plane. And the things that I know on this plane might simply cease to be facts. Kind of a
Then-
scary thought. An exciting one, but also I might be dead, and then I can't learn anything, which is kind of a bummer.
Not learning anything while you're dead is certainly a bummer.
Yeah.
But I have no feeling or regard whether or not things change. I have no
Sure.
care. That's not in my purpose. That's not in my worries.
I wonder if that's a...
I would rather respond to what happens.
I wonder if that's a point of longevity, you know? Because from a standpoint, I'm not even sure if it's my standpoint, but a hypothetical standpoint, someone could spend their life mastering skill, learning knowledge, and the idea that all that information that they've collected could suddenly become false via a shifting of the cosmos could be very scary. But I wonder if that's because they know their time is limited. I wonder if someone with unlimited time, or nearly unlimited time, would welcome that kind of change, because it does let them start over from the front, from the top. Like, I'm not going to be around forever, and I've spent quite a bit of time learning what I have. So if it was all changed on me, that does have an effect on my emotional state.
Conversely,
You know?
there are those of your position who would also do the exact opposite. They enjoy the change because they have such a short life. They would rather things consistently stay constantly new until their last breath.
It's fair.
Not just from the dusty sort of dryness of old age or immortality, but more the chaos that comes with creating things constantly.
Yeah. That's an interesting thing to think about. That'll be a fun one to ponder.
It's why you have choice. It's why there is always choice. It's what our original purpose was.
How do you mean?
The Muirstones. We came
Well-
to be to help guide and guard choice and freedom.
Would a collapsing of the planes get rid of that choice, that freedom?
I'm not of that mind. It would just change.
All right.
I think once we've existed, in my personal opinion, once we've existed, we exist in perpetuity. Regardless of what we mutate into, we are just matter is matter is matter.
Is matter. Okay. All right. I should probably get back to my friends. They're likely worried.
Yes.
But this was a good conversation. I appreciate it.
I also deeply enjoyed the conversation. However, an exchange is to be made.
Right.
Matter cannot be changed to other matter without some sort of cost, correct?
Sure.
You've asked 5 questions. Would you like me to decide, or would you like to give the cost that you think is fair?
I'll let you decide.
Very well. I have enjoyed our conversation deeply. I had hoped to do it again. As your hand comes back, we sort of... can you make me a Constitution saving throw?
Yeah. Do I get my Philip bonus?
Yeah. You're still technically there, so...
27.
27. Alright.
How did it go?
Just kind of a numb feeling in your hand. There's a moment. Some weird just hits you.
It went well. I think if I wasn't gonna have to go through whatever weirdness this is every time I did it, I would probably end up talking to the stone quite a bit. We seem to have quite a bit in common. We are still physically under the house. This cavern is a part of the house's structure. The house's purpose is to gather information, to collect information and gather it, and be a tool for people who want to gather information and collect it.
Well, that makes sense.
Which, depending on where exactly the stone needs to go and what needs to happen when the stone is replaced, it could still do that from wherever we set it. You know?
Yeah.
So that might be alright.
I mentioned to Yvonne before. Yvonne really doesn't want this place to be gone. I told her wherever we put it to rest, it could very easily still serve its purpose as a beacon for scholars, or like a community of artificers, or there's a lot it could be used for.
Yeah.
Well, should we get out of this room, or
Probably.
all right?
When we're out, I'm gonna close the wall.
You know, I'll bet that's directly under the tree too. It's
Makes sense.
the only other place where there's, earth.
You step out of the room, close door. As you do that, on the panel, because you have to hit the button on the panel to close the door, it fades back to a blank button.
Alright.
And you're feeling all right.
Just odd.
Did it tell you what it took from you?
No.
It asked me if I wanted to pitch something that I thought was the right value, or I wanted it to decide, and I let it decide because I was having trouble thinking in terms of transmutation. So hoping to get some context in terms of what it would take. I'm not sure.
I'm starting to think. More or less, we may be able to use it as a focus for higher level transmutation than we may ever be able to access through regular spells. Bring materials, offer up the materials, ask for something in return. I'm not sure for what at this point, but if it asks for things, maybe we could actually bring things when we talk to this stone. Valuable materials, potentially even knowledge, if it's supposed to collect knowledge.
Yeah, possibly. Could be that. That's tough to know what it values. You're saying like, oh, I brought gold, you can turn it into lead. I don't know if that's good for you. I don't know what's good for it, you know? For all I know, it just took 5 years off the end of my life. Not sure.
That's fair.
Coulda. I mean...
Well, we never know how long we're going to live anyways.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to make that gamble a lot of times, but...
Yeah. Panther speaks it. I do.
Huh.
Huh. Probably something to do with the stars, or...
Maybe it's a panther thing. Maybe all panthers know.
It's a panther thing.
Maybe they're born with it. Alright.
I'm glad we did that because I think we gained good knowledge. I think we maybe want to go to Dragonland.
If you want to show us there, we can start looking for Dracarius.
Do you think I should go as a dragon?
They might take that as an insult. I'm not sure. We might want to bring gold coin.
An emissary of sorts. I don't know about going to Dinotopia with Philip One Arm. I was planning when we're done with this, I'm going to reach out to Thaddeus, but we might not want to venture to new lands full of giant lizards when our tank's missing a tread.
That's
Well, how long is
fair.
it gonna take for you to get an arm?
I'm the wrong person to ask about that. I think he's also the wrong person to ask about that.
Yeah, I'm gonna reach out to Thaddeus. I have quite a bit of cash to throw at it, which can make things happen a lot quicker. But
I also there's a couple other things that it's fine because while the arm is being made, there's a couple other things I could take care of in the meantime. I'll need to see about weapons and reckon with the fallout of other things that happened while we were in the tower. So,
do we? I should have brought those magic items to Nerith, see if you could clean anything off them. But I can also take a look at them if you guys don't mind me glancing.
between you and Yvonne, it probably wouldn't take too long.
Yeah, we can do that once after I reach out to Thaddeus. We can take a look at those as well. But I mean, it depends if we think Dinotopia is going to be. Oh, you gotta stop calling it that. Depends if we think it's going. If Dragonland is going to be. See, that's
worse.
That's from Dragon Tales. So, if we think it's going to be dangerous, if we.
I
think
we should be prepared in case it gets dangerous.
Yeah.
I think that's the
guess.
main thing.
I think they'll be friendly. They said to come, bring the whole gang.
They may be nice, but there might be things on the island that aren't. So I think it's just better we be prepared just in case.
I don't know what dragons hunt, but whatever dragons hunt could probably hunt us.
That's also an incredibly valid point.
I do hate to be the everyone wait until I'm done with a craft again. I hate being that guy, but
I think that's okay.
I wouldn't be much use with that one right now. I don't think it'd take me a while to learn how to fight with the other one. So sorry about that, but
I'm gonna give that a 10. If we're ranking most ridiculous things to apologize for, solid 10 on that one. Really
Out
good,
of
sturdy
10.
10. Yeah, oh yeah, out of 10.
it seemed like a good idea at the time.
Alright. I think I am going to go reach out to Thaddeus just to get that ball rolling.
All right, sounds good.
If you guys decide we should do something also in the meantime, you can let me know when I'm back or something like that.
As you take the elevator up, back into your living space. That is what we'll call the episode tonight, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Ha! And the Tower of Blight is over. And when we move on to the next part of our journey, we're happy to have you here.
Thank God we're finally out of the Tower of Blight. We're finally back at safety. Let's go to Dragonland.
Sounds great to me.
I want to fight a dragon from the back of another dragon.
Alright, Aragon.
All right. Thank you, everybody, and we will catch you next time.